breakfast team. Allah grant you blessed day, inshallah, from the Martin family of Kensington.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Team and team, I hope you all have a Mubarak, MashaAllah day. This comes from Adnan and the Adam family. We from Beacon Valley.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Daniel, Ashraf and the team have a blessed Mubarak day, as well as the entire Ummah. Amin ya Rabbal Alameen. From the Abbas family from Strandfontein. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Have a good day.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome back to VOC Breakfast. We do know that today is a very special edition as we find ourselves at Pollsmoor Maximum Security Prison. And the theme of today's show is the journey to reformation. Because when we think of a place like Pollsmoor, we associate it with not the best of adjectives, but we want to remind you that everyone deserves a second chance, as well as the offenders that sit before us, Lucia.
Yes, definitely, Anika. I feel like these are very, very special females, irrespective of how it is that they ended up here. They all have a story to tell, and it's our responsibility to ensure that their stories are effectively told.
And we do know that our journalist, Leandra Paulson, went out to the streets yesterday for a segment we like to call Voice of the Streets, and she garnered what the public thinks about the criminal justice system. And a little later on, we will be talking to the Deputy Minister of Correctional Services, and she will give us some insight into what exactly she is doing to ensure that our offenders, get the best of services, if I can call it that, within these walls. Because many times we associate Pollsmoor, Brandvlei, Voorbrug with heinous acts. And we are here to remind you that as media, we can spread a positive message and a positive light and sort of remind you that things are better, that you do have something to look forward to out there.
It's also important to remind our listeners that even though we are speaking to the ministers and the deputy ministers today, they've only taken up this role, I think, a little over 3 months ago. So it would be a bit unfair and harsh of us to tell them that we want answers now. We can ask them, like, what do you plan to do for the next 5 years? Because the term is effectively for 5 years.
And I must just put it out there that this is something that we've looked forward to for a very long time. Lucia and
6
I
years.
Are so excited. I mean, it's been on my bucket list since I was 16, if I can be real with you. So to be sitting here amongst you all today, it is an absolute privilege. And I hope that we can inspire you and remind you that those that you've left behind outside, we know that you are daughters, you are mothers, you are sisters, and you are grandmothers. And let us not forget that sometimes we do make mistakes, but this doesn't mean that it's the end.
And it's also important to remember that irrespective of our mistakes, it doesn't define us. You could be sitting here having committed the most heinous crimes, but you are not forgotten. There are people that still care about you, that love you, and that are constantly praying and making dua for you.
Absolutely. And we did get to speak to Buta Yusuf Fisher a little earlier. He is with us at Pollsmoor Prison this morning, as well as a troop of, VOC staff. And Buta Yusuf was saying, I've never seen them wake up this early for work. Why are they so excited to be at a prison? But this is something that is magnificent. And he spoke about his Prisoner's Hour. This is a show that is nearly 30 years old. Okay, he's saying that he's going to greet them a little later on, inshallah. But the show is so important to families as well as offenders alike that get to communicate with each other while being behind bars. But with that, we head out for a quick ad break.
Alpha Bodyworks Collision Repair Center and Alpha Express Auto, leaders in collision repairs to all types of vehicles, backed by all major insurers and vehicle manufacturers, including VW, Audi and Toyota. Using the latest technology and decades of industry experience, we at Alpha Bodyworks are renowned for quality and excellent service. Not insured? We offer special rates for all non-insured clients, with 21 courtesy vehicles and a 24-hour recovery service. Yes, trust Alpha Bodyworks to bring you peace of mind. Contact Alpha Bodyworks today. Call 021 691 9333 or 5 or visit www.alphabodyworks.co.za. Alpha Bodyworks Collision Repair Centre, steps above the rest.
Are you a property owner? Has your financial situation or circumstances changed? Are you struggling to keep up with your bond repayment? Are you thinking of upgrading or downscaling? At Nadia Moses Real Estates, we have the solution for you. We offer free market-related valuations, estate-late transfers, free wills drafted, including Sharia-compliant wills, and many more. Call us on 084 677 8459. Nadia Moses Real Estates, outstanding agency with outstanding results.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Mambo Storage and Home Song. A 1, a 2, a 3, 4, 5. A little bit of culinary skill, a little bit of cut and chop and peel, a little bit of fry and grill and bake, a little bit of best meals you can make. At Mambo Storage and Home, you'll find all the nifty kitchen utensils you need to take the chore out of making memorable meals. Mambos.co.za. Make your home your happy zone.
You've been shopping up a storm lately. Can we afford all these extras?
I've been meaning to tell you, with the Albaraka Loyalty Rewards Program, I earn between 1% up to 10% cash back, paid straight into my Albaraka transactional banking account.
Which you use how?
I pay using my Albaraka debit card at their participating partners, including butchers, supermarkets, car hire, fast food, home and kitchenware, and even online, nationwide.
I better register as well.
No, that's the beauty. There's no registration required. Just shop at any of their participating partners, pay with your Albaraka debit card, and voila!
Visit albaraka.co.za to view our host of loyalty rewards partners. Albaraka, your partner bank. Albaraka Bank Limited is an authorized financial services and credit provider. Terms and conditions apply.
My radio station, your radio station, our radio station. This is the voice of the Cape. VOC Breakfast. Weekdays, 7 to 9 a.m.
Welcome back to VOC Breakfast, live from Pollsmoor Correctional Services. And for such a long time, Pollsmoor Correctional Services has been a point of contention in the nation, especially with regards to the drug trade in prisons, the staffing of detention centers, and of course the nature of officials in prison that allows prisoners to, in the midst of some, run the ship. So today we are joined by the Deputy Minister, Minister Lindiwe Ntshalintshali, who is joining us. Shukran so much for coming out.
Good morning to your listeners at home, and good morning to all our guests here who are with us, who are our inmates, and good morning to yourselves also.
So as a Deputy Minister of Correctional Services, why is the month of August so important to you?
It is a month that is very important to us as women of South Africa. We are celebrating what our women fought for and the contribution they've made. Remember, previously, this journey for us as August, it symbolizes where women took the journey for equality, for recognition, empowerment of women, and also those 20,000 women that were led by, some of them have departed. You have now Auntie Sophie, who's still alive. Those brave women, they marched to Pretoria to fight for the past laws and making sure that future generation, they don't have to be asked passes as they travel or as they want job in other countries. And hence we're saying today we're beneficiaries as black women also. We never had these opportunities to be Deputy Minister or to be in senior management.
So Deputy Minister, what are some of the struggles of women in correctional facilities?
In our facilities, you've got women that are playing a crucial role, both as officials and those that are in incarceration. Also, it is imperative that we recognize and address the unique challenges these women faced as we recognize and address these challenges within our system. We do strive to create an environment where every woman, regardless of their circumstances, are given opportunity to learn, an opportunity to heal, because we are in here for different reasons. Some who are working here, but also as officers, we've got our own challenges, and also our inmates. So we're here to heal, learn, grow, support each other, but also We've got gender responsive department, and our policies and our practices are there to make sure that our system is just and equitable. And we acknowledge that all our female officials who work in this environment, it is demanding and challenging. Remember, they must tussle between being a mother and being an officer that enforces these laws. So in this facility, they play a big role. And as these women operate and run this facility, they run it with dignity. I must share with you that I was happy when I came in to say, our facility doesn't smuggle contrabands. So it tells you where there's a woman's touch, we can really do better. But as we move forward, we are making sure that our women, as they work here, they are regarded also as primary caregivers for the kids that are within our facilities, because we want to create that homely environment, that we nurse the babies that are with their mothers here to say they can't feel they are not at home. But our facilities are baby and women friendly. But also as we move towards that rehabilitation, your reintegration to communities, are women driven, because women, they are pillars at home.
So we have so many females sitting in front of us. If you can say anything to them to inspire them to better themselves, what would you say?
I would say to our women, those that are sentenced and our remand detainees, this is not the end of the world. There is second chance in everything. You are here for a reason, but you must forgive yourself, start a new life, live again, accept the circumstances that brought you here, put it in the past and move forward. Start a new journey that as you go back home, reintegrated to your family, let the family and community and South African see a better you, because our facilities are for you to go through a process of healing, process of forgiving, of skilling, be a better person out there. Because everybody in our constitution, even in the Bible that we read, everybody is a special creature created by God. Therefore, there's no dumping site or a dustbin for people, but we are here to rehabilitate yourself as women. Go there. Those women fought for our rights. So we will never disappoint them as these women, because we are the future, we are the generation. So go back there, irrespective of the stigma, irrespective of what people think about you. This is your life. You are the master of your own destiny. So be a driver, be on the driving seat. Don't choreograph for other people. It's your own life. It's only you who can be in charge.
Deputy Minister, is correctional services playing an impactful role in terms of rehabilitating these females and reintegrating them into society?
I think as a country, we come a long way with correctional facility. We're commonly known as inflicting punishment, am I right? Confinement. We reorganize and we rehabilitate. But I think where we are, we can be measured by our ability to transform the lives of the people that are within our centers, and also making sure that even those that are out there as ex-inmates are productive members of the society, like I've initially said, also that they contribute back. When we skill you, go out there, open a salon, go out there and sew garments. Use your skills that you acquired when you are here. So we are saying, seated here, our facilities are playing an impactful role. And you've got those gardens, you are taught some skills also on how to feed yourself. Because there's nobody who's gonna give. But somewhere you must utilize the resources and the skills that we have given you so that out there you can survive.
Deputy Minister, under the new administration, what can we expect from your department, and how can we as the media hold you accountable?
This is for the first time that as correctional service we are on our own. We're a standalone department. We've been justice, constitutional development, and correctional services. Now we're a standalone department. We will be paying more attention on issues that touches our facility. But as this government also, what we want to elevate and raise are issues of your maintenance in our facilities, which we have raised with the Minister of Public Works. Also, when I was touching base with the senior management here, we talk about the facilities, upkeep of the facilities, but also making sure that our centers, it's centers where you can be proud to live in. We must not maintain them, it's bad. We must improve them because everybody has rights, and those rights had to be respected irrespective of circumstances.
Deputy Minister, on behalf of the Voice of the Cape, we want to thank you for the opportunity to have this discussion on air, and we want to wish you the best of luck going forward.
Thank you very much, and we appreciate to be hosted here. And to all the women that are here, Happy Women's Month, Happy Women's Day. Wathinta abafazi, wathinta imbokodo. Thank you very much.
That was the Deputy Minister of Correctional Services. Right now we're going back to Rahima McLean for the latest in news.
In your news making headlines at 7:30, VOC Breakfast currently broadcasting live from Pollsmoor Prison. In other news, organisation calls for stricter action in GBV cases following teens arrest in Caledon murder. And lastly, Cape Town launches digital hub for live tracking of sanitation infrastructure performance. That is it for now. More details at 8 a.m.
This traffic report is brought to you by Alpha Body Works. Now also the new Alpha Express Auto. We offer discounted rates for all non-insured clients and a 24-hour recovery service. Visit our website on www.alphabodyworks.co.za.
VOC Breakfast. Traffic.
Quick look at the roads this morning. A motor vehicle accident was reported on the N2 inbound just after the ramp to Spine Road. Some delays can be expected over there. And then on the N2 inbound after the ramp to the R300 interchange, both shoulders have been blocked. If you have anything to report, contact us on 0829 913 913.
That traffic report was brought to you by Alpha Body Works. Now also the new Alpha Express Auto. We offer discounted rates for all non-insured clients and a 24-hour recovery service. Visit our website on www.alphabodyworks.co.za.
Alpha Bodyworks Collision Repair Centre and Alpha Express Auto. Leaders in collision repairs to all types of vehicles. Backed by all major insurers and vehicle manufacturers, including VW, Audi and Toyota. Using the latest technology and decades of industry experience, we at Alpha Bodyworks are renowned for quality and excellent service. Not insured? We offer special rates for all non-insured clients. With 21 courtesy vehicles and a 24-hour recovery service. Trust Alpha Bodyworks to bring you peace of mind. Contact Alpha Bodyworks today. Call 021 691 9333 or 5 or visit www.alphabodyworks.co.za. Alpha Bodyworks Collision Repair Centre. Steps above the rest.
VOC Breakfast. Markets.
Taking a look at the markets this morning, the Rand-dollar exchange is 17 Rand 74 cents. The pound to the Rand is 23 Rand 3 cents. The euro is currently trading at 19 Rand 65 cents. And the Australian dollar, if you are taking a trip down under, is 11 Rand 92 cents. And the yen, if you travel or are planning to travel to an Asian country, it is 12 cents at present. That is your markets for this morning.
Live from Cape Town, this is the Voice of the Cape. VOC Breakfast, weekdays 6 to 9 a.m.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to VOC Breakfast. We are broadcasting live from Pollsmoor Prison this morning, and if you can hear the hustle and bustle in the corner of your ear, that is the offenders that are sitting in front of us and are watching us broadcast the show live. In this segment, our Voice of the Streets VOC journalist Leandra Paulson took to the streets to ask the public whether they believe South Africa's justice system treats everyone fairly. Let's take a listen.
In this edition of The Voice of the Streets, we spoke to the public about whether South Africa's justice system treats everyone equally, regardless of who they are. This is what the public had to say.
I don't think that the justice system is equal for the rich and the poor, is because the richer people can afford better reputations, while the poor people can't, and that the rich people can have the connections with the judges. That way they can get the bail easier, while the poor people can't have enough money to have a bail. Okay, the government to ensure equal treatment in prison is that he should come with the policies that are going to urge people to act or receive the same treatment. That way equality can be ensured in the prison.
It does affect them negatively because, I mean, there's also tax now. And if you would see the bigger people out there, they are the ones like who have more money and all of that. And our parents, like, they work so hard and yet they have to pay so much tax and all of that. Yes, because they bribe. So there's corruption as well, like in the police station. So they are being treated differently to the ones that are poor.
Hey, I don't think so. I don't think the way
regardless the social state of
It's obvious because not everyone is treated equally. I can say the criminals, ne? I can say corruption is also like you are doing criminal, most. But comparing corruption is also like a criminal, ne? Obviously, they treat like the normal criminals, they treat them like too badly, obviously, because the politicians like are on the government situations and stuff, like institutions, so they cannot like be treated equally, obvious, like sort of like that. So like it's because of they are on the political issues, ne? And also because of these like the normal criminals most. So they treat them like they're like useless people and stuff, yeah. And they can't like treat the political ones because like then some of them have lawyers and stuff, like they are with financial issues. You know, I don't know the government can sort this issue, like I don't think government can sort, because also like the government is also on this situation stuff, you know. But like, there are many parties. You see, there are many parties, political parties, but they are doing nothing. Like, how like myself can solve that issue?
Well, I think it depends. It depends because some people may think it's not fair, and others may think that yeah, it's right. So it depends on because if it favors you, you think it's okay. If it doesn't favor you, you may think it's not okay. So it depends on what the lawyers think. Nothing is perfect. Nothing is perfect. So I think there are loopholes in every justice system. So I think what it requires is constant review. Then everyone should be seen as the same thing. You know, we should know that the society there is diversity, right? Then there should be an equitable treatment as well. You understand? Then besides that, then there should be very good inclusiveness. So I think, yeah, there may be diversity, but the inclusiveness is missing.
Many believe that disparities exist, often influenced by factors such as race, socioeconomic status, and connections. While the system strives for fairness, there are widespread perceptions of inequality, leading to calls for reforms to ensure that justice is truly blind and accessible to all. For VOC News, I am Leander Paulson. Kindly note the views and opinions expressed within this content is not that of VOC or its staff, but solely the subjects expressing themselves.
The views expressed on this program do not necessarily reflect the views of the Voice of the Cape, its management or staff.
Live from Cape Town, this is the Voice of the Cape.
Sponsor an orphan, and you'll help support a vulnerable child to have the education they've always dreamed of, so they can build a brighter future. You'll be feeding a hungry stomach and a hungry mind with knowledge that will last them a lifetime. That's the power of an education. Sponsor an orphan now with Islamic Relief.
At Feed for Life, our podiatrists are skilled specialists in the field of foot and lower limb care. They can diagnose and effectively treat a wide range of disorders related to the feet and lower limbs, from calluses, corns, blisters, and athlete's foot, to make sure you have the right footwear, even for running. We also offer foot care products specially formulated by us, with a branch near you in Constantia, Rondebosch, Goodwood, Mitchells Plain, Monte Vista, Belleville, Grassy Park, and Lakeside. Feed for Life. Your comfort is our mission. Visit feedforlife.co.za or call us on 021 795 0012 to book your appointment.
As South Africa's #1 supermarket, ShopRite goes out of its way to partner with local communities so they can thrive.
Good day. This is Asim Reddy from Uyanda Serving Faith Movement Foundation. We would love to thank ShopRite for the donation of 12,000 rand. Thank you, ShopRite.
Nominate your favorite community project by dialing *120*189# and help ShopRite act for change in your community. Act for change. Just another way ShopRite serves communities across South Africa every day. USSD charged at 20 cents for 20 seconds. T's and C's apply. Free minutes.
The performance of Opera is an expiation for the sins committed between that and the previous one, and the reward
to the offenders. Then they find out that they are normal people that was found in the wrong side of the law, and they just need rehabilitation. And they are fine, and they enjoy working with them because, you know, when they experience or give services to them, they can see that they are people that want to change.
And Mrs. Antoni, I can attest to that because yesterday we came out to Pollsmoor Prison and we did our sort of layout for how this morning will run. And I shared those same sentiments where I was fearful, but I interacted with people like yourself and I realized, hey, it's not as bad as the media paints it out to be. But talk to me about the Taylor rehabilitation programs to meet the diverse needs of the offenders, considering factors like their age, gender, and the nature of their offenses.
There are different programs that are given to the female offenders and offenders at large. Here at Pollsmoor, there is formal education that is centralized, mainly is the AET, and there is TVET. Then when you go to formal education, you'll find your ECD. The ECD is mainly for the babies, and then we make sure that those babies are stimulated there. It is a formal program. The babies are taken to the creche where they get the program so that their cognitive development is attended to, so that education starts as early as that age. And we also have the private institutions, educational institutions, which is UNISA. We allow the offenders to register on their own cost, of course. Thank you.
That is absolutely amazing. And then tell me, how do you measure the success of your rehabilitation programs? Are there any success stories that stick out to you when you think back to one of the offenders that maybe did undertake a course at UNISA that finished?
I am pleased to say that all the programs that are given, we've got the offenders that have been taken up to the artscape to do art, which is drama. And there are offenders that are glued up with that, and they have been taken by the service providers, and they are facilitating there. And there are programs, that spiritual programs, where the service providers do come, and the offenders that were here, they are ex-offenders now, and they are facilitating the programs themselves. So we are pleased to say that there are ones that, remember, we are doing there is a skills development, which is salon, the pedicure or manicure, yes, and there are those that are placed, and they have started some of the businesses regarding that. We have taken the offenders to the graduation level, and we are pleased to say they are doing well outside.
It's absolutely incredible. Mrs. Nomakaya, how important is the role of family and community in the rehabilitation process?
The role of family is really important. Hence, we ensure that the offenders that are inside are visited by the family. We encourage that the community should know that the rehabilitation is a societal responsibility. It does not only lies on the correctional services, but we need the community, we need the family support. Also, they are the mothers, because it's the Women's Month. There are mothers that have left their children at home. So there is something in place with the social workers where we ensure that they liaise with the social worker outside, so that the bonding can also happen, so that the children that are left outside are also having a relationship with the mother and the support thereof.
Mrs. Nomakaya, you mentioned the children that are left behind, but we've come to learn that there are mothers that have their babies within the Pollsmoor facility. Talk to me about how the processes works around that. When is the infant released into society and who takes care of them? And how does Pollsmoor ensure that they are stimulated, like you said earlier?
The babies that are here behind bars, there is a structure that is separate from the prison. Because remember, when you look at Chapter 5 of the Children's Act, that institution is mainly for that, it's baby-centered. So, because the babies have not done any crime, so we ensure that there is a separate institution where they are stimulated there. The baby mothers, if there is an offender that has a baby, then they are staying in that unit. It's a specialized unit and it's a baby-friendly environment. That's why there is that ECD, and they are not allowed to stay beyond 2 years. We keep them for 2 years. Remember, the early childhood development is for 5 years. So if we keep them for the 5 years, then we might deprive them of the development. So hence then we keep them for 2 years and we ensure that that stimulation happens, because when we check the program, then we take the babies out every day so that they can experience the atmosphere, they can see the eye stimulation and all that. We don't keep them inside. And then when they're about to be placed outside, then the social worker, there is an Imbelego project where the social worker communicates and check with the social worker outside to make sure that the baby is placed accordingly. And if the baby was here inside for that long period before the baby becomes 2 years, then there's that visit that is coordinated so that the baby can be used in terms of the outside environment, so that the baby does not get overwhelmed by the outside environment. Thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Ntoni, before I let you go, is there any Women's Month message that you do have to the offenders sitting in front of us right now?
Oh, yes, of course. To you, women that are sitting here now, I think it's up to us that we grab this opportunity that is provided to us so that we rethink and focus on our own rehabilitation path. Think about your future. Think about what you aspire to do. Dream a good dream. The mistake that you have done, you correct it. It relies upon you, and you enjoy yourself. You improve it for the society, because the society is waiting for you, and the person that is supposed to do that the most is yourself. So do the programs accordingly, empower yourself as women of this country. We are waiting for you, the society, the children, and the upliftment of all women is waiting for you. Thank you.
Thank you. Acting Head of the, I think you deserve a round of applause.
Thank you.
Acting Head of the Correction Center's Rehabilitation Program, Mrs. Ntoni Nomakaya, thank you so much for joining us on VOC Breakfast. And there she runs off. I don't think this is something that she wanted to do. She's someone that works behind the scenes. But with that, we head out for a quick look at the roads this morning.
In South Africa, countless numbers of sick patients leave their homes at the crack of dawn to join long queues at clinics and public hospitals, many of them suffering pangs of hunger in addition to the symptoms of disease. The Our Inland Foundation's Slice for Life teams deliver sandwiches to these patients at more than 40 hospitals and clinics across the country. Help us to keep on moving forward. Donate online at albumguide.com or 0861 786 243 for more
the CSR team, and you've taken us from strength to strength. I wanted to know, why is CSR so important to you, and what impact does it have on the station?
Shukran so much, Lashay. I think it is important for us just to understand that, Voice of the Cape has been in operation for 29 years this year. And people that work behind the scenes, like your programming, your news, your technical production, all of these people, the sales and marketing, they know exactly how to operate the radio station. I didn't have to come in there and do anything differently. So I wanted to change my just shift focus a little bit more to be able to cement Voice of the Cape into the community. And Alhamdulillah, I think since 2023, we've been having, every second month, we've been having a successful community services or corporate social responsibility, basically, what people call them, every second month since last year, and this year is no different. And I think this time around is a little bit of a difference. I think, sitting in front of people who also matter to society and listening to what the minister has spoken about, it goes without a doubt that this is the first of many that we need to do, not only with the Pollsmoor Correctional Services, but others throughout the country, or the province at least, inshallah.
How did this initiative come about, Gulam? Because I know it's very rare that we come to facilities like this.
I think that I'll be failing in my duty if I don't thank Anika du Plessis, who's the news editor at Voice of the Cape. And when she initially came up with this idea, all I said to her was good luck, because we know that when it comes to very sensitive institutions, it becomes quite difficult to be able to pull off something like this. So thank you, Anika, and thank you to you, Lashay, as well, to Abdul, Rachel, for pulling it off. Rachel Mohammed, it is. I should stop calling her that. But for pulling it off and making sure that we are able to contribute positively to this initiative. And when we started making contact with the Department of Correctional Services, as well as the management of Pollsmoor Prison, we wanted to know what is it that we can do that is different to what is normally expected, or what people normally would maybe drop off or be a part of, etc. And they gave us a whole list, of what is required, and then we had to go and sift through it and see what is it that we can contribute on behalf of Voice of the Cape. And I think I can comfortably say that we've met our target here. We have basically just over 15,000 Rand worth of goodies that we brought here today to the Pollsmoor Correctional Services, alhamdulillah.
Gulam, let's talk about the long-term outcomes that we are hoping to achieve, and how do we plan to sustain this after today?
I like the one point that both of your guests made earlier, Lashay, and that was the minister as well as the other lady that also chatted to you previously, and that is that these are human beings that are sitting in front of us. And sometimes, when you are locked behind these gates, it creates an impression that, it's just a forgotten world. It is something that they maybe have to fend for themselves for. And I think that we need to be able to cement and also, pencil this into our annual calendar to be able to say, these are the things that we would like to do. But it doesn't stop there. You've got a little one, I've got a little one.
Little ones.
With that, a few, and 4,000 dogs. And then we've got, with that, who's got a little one. So does Connie. Mind you, all of you guys got little ones, yeah. But I mean, I was asking Candice earlier, what is it that we can do? Because sometimes our kids, outgrow baby clothes and so forth. So what is it that we can do? Yes, there's a process, but it shows us that if we want to continue that sadaqatul jariyah, that charity in the name of Voice of the Cape, and for us as a reward as well, is for us to be able to say, okay, listen, let's, just put all of these clothes into a bag or something, or into a box, just drop it off at Pollsmoor Correctional Services, because as you guys will be speaking later, we're also looking, we've got inmates that have got babies with them, etc. And so the need is quite great. It shouldn't stop today on the 20th of August. It is something that we must be able to continue to do. And the minister and I became very good friends. We exchanged cell phone numbers now. We're on WhatsApp. We can chat now, liquor. So, where the two of us are going to see what it is that we can what we can do to strengthen the relationship between the Voice of the Cape and the Department of Correctional Services. These are human beings, these are mothers, these are, soos in Afrikaans sal sê, dis ook ander mense se kinders, and these are things that we want to do to ensure that we continue to inspire them, and be role models to them, being able to open up Voice of the Cape, as a community broadcaster, to be able to see what skill or niche it is that we can do to enhance these people. But I want to also just add, I'll be failing in my duty not to mention something like the Prisoner's Hour. That has been one of the longest standing programs on the Voice of the Cape. And ek kan lekker gebreek het met die minister, that has been running for 29 years, where we receive letters from the inmates, and we read those letters live on air. And then in return, the families of those inmates will also send the letters to us, and we can share it. So we're almost like a medium between the two, and the amount of interest that this program has attracted to the Voice of the Cape, not now, I'm talking about years. You and I were probably still running around in diapers when, or maybe you at least, it's a program that has been running for so long. And that is why we wanted to bring, like Vienna and Afrikaans sal ons sê, ons wil die mense se boetayusie wil ons gebring het. Nou sit die mense se boetayusie hier saam met ons, so they can see who's the voice behind the Prisoner's Hour. So, gaat ons, I thought, so he's going to be speaking to them later, inshallah. I thought he was going to say maybe we can start auctioning him off, but no, I'm just kidding. But every Wednesday night, Prisoner's Hour, tying into the community and making sure that the Voice of the Cape community, it goes beyond just what the eye sees.
Gulam, how has today's initiative influenced your perspective on social responsibility and obviously the role that we as media play? Please bear in mind, you only have 1 minute.
Okay, then maybe we must take a break and come back. But I think, for me, it shows you that the need is not just what we see, Loshay. Sometimes when we talk about the social responsibility project, we think of, okay, let's go and feed somebody at the shelter. Do you know what I mean? Here we see that the need is so much greater, and there are so many ways how we can make a difference in the lives of many people. It's not just the homeless people or somebody's house that burnt down that we're stepping in to assist and so forth. It stretches beyond that. And while there are 4 walls solid around this institution, it is a wall that I would like to know, and I spoke to some of the managers here as well. We want to have an open relationship with them. We want to say, can we do this with the inmates? Is it something that we can, be a part of if they've got programs and all of that? So inshallah, this is the first of many.
That was the voice of Ghulam Fakir, the station manager at the Voice of the Cape, as well as the man that has been leading the CSR team with such success and with such amazing insight in terms of how we go about completing all our initiatives. Right now, we cross back to the studio to pay some bills.
Natural best. It's where the pride of Africa comes together. Voted world's leading luxury safari park to private game reserve. Get to know the big five. Enjoy our luxurious facilities with various
it's to be African,
types. Enjoy tantalizing world-class during your stay.
Hoe gaan dit van môre?
African experience.
Julle dames, julle is so mooi.
203-1400.
Let me just do this. It's not that I undermine this session.
Suburban travel and tours in
I must
tourism since
thank
1997.
the radio station,
Join us once again
the station
on our
manager.
Hanoi Victoria's Vietnam tour
I must
to
thank
Hanoi,
our
Halong
team
Bay, Hoi
here
An and
from the
Saigon,
Department of
departing on the
Correctional
8th of December
Services.
2024
Also
for 12
our
days
special
from
guest.
only 22,000
Thank you very much for being here to give testimony. I'll be rushing off to the Portfolio Committee on Correctional Service. So by 9 o'clock, I should be seated in Parliament, accounting on every activity in our facility. So it is good that as I depart, you don't just say, we saw her coming in, we saw her dashing out. Just that respect to you as human beings. They've said it, I'm Lindiwe Ntshalintshali, the Deputy Minister of Correctional Services. It is for the first time we are a standalone department. So I have visited your facility here to say, let's celebrate Women's Day in style. Let's talk about our challenges. We have various speakers on the services that we provide so that we prepare our journey back as we are reintegrated to our communities. As the department was saying, this is not the end of the world. You must never be hard on yourself. Everybody in life messes up, or there's challenges along the road, but it's not the end. We've got Umama, a living testimony, and now the kids are pilots, the kids are lawyers. You know, it is possible. One day when you look back, you'd say, I was in Pollsmoor, but now I'm here. We know the world out there, it's not so friendly. But we're trying our level best to create that conducive, when you exit our system back to reality, because life inside and life outside is a bit different, and how people will treat you. But make sure that whatever that you've gained here, you use it. Whatever that has brought you here, don't be tempted to go back. There should be a life. So as I wish you the Women's Day, please, as we move and go through our rehabilitation, be a responsible citizen. Love your country, love yourself, and as I conclude, City, be a good ambassador as you go out. Represent us well. Watinda bafazi.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome.
We
back
love
to
you
the
all.
OC
Keep well.
Breakfast.
And
As you can hear, we
bayadanke.
are still broadcasting live from Pollsmoor Prison, the Correctional Facility, the female section. And we don't have much time, but we will jump into the segment right now where we speak with the Deputy Regional Commissioner, Konya Mandine Saidom. Good morning and thank you so much for joining.
different programs within the organization.
Konya, I want to ask a personal question. As a young girl, let's say you were 5 years old, you're in pre-primary school, is this something you envisioned doing? Or how did this come about where you decided you want to be a part of reformation of women within the system?
It was never my plan to form part of this organization. I think when you look at it from outside, you dream to be a lawyer, a doctor, all those, a pilot, those type of careers. So prison, you would not think of, but making that change or having had the opportunity. I think I was one, we were four out of, I think, 4,000 applications who were appointed that year. So it's quite special, and then you realize that when you get into the system and the outcomes, how you deal with human beings, the changing of behavior, then you realize that it's quite valuable, more valuable, I think, than these top jobs that you normally have.
Absolutely. I mean, I can say absolutely, but someone on their way to work who is a doctor might think nope. But that's a conversation for a different time. Talk to me, Connie, about the rehabilitation and the education programs that are currently being instated at the Pollsmoor facility. I do know that Candace spoke about the spelling bees and the reading groups that you do offer for the offenders.
Yes, apart from that, we had our regional Funda Mzansi eliminations last week, where we are focusing, it's a literacy, reading and literacy program. It started 14 years ago with national libraries, as well as the Center for the Books. It has evolved to such an extent that both females and male offenders participate. And I think the week of 23 to 27 September, we'll be having a national competition in George where we will participate with other regions. Apart from that, we have many other short and long skills programs. We have rehabilitation programs, we have correctional programs. Here for female inmates at this center specifically, we focus on the hair salon like they have alluded earlier. We focus on the Shlumani agricultural project. We also focus on the textiles where they are manufacturing offender uniform for offenders. So in terms of self-sufficiency, I think when they leave the correctional setting, many of them will be able to either have a SMME or work for someone, but contribute positive to the economy where they won't be able to fall back into the correctional system, but be independent and financially, specifically independent.
Thank you so much, Ms. Konya Mandian-Strydom, the Acting Deputy Regional Commissioner, for joining us on VOC Breakfast this morning. We wish you well and happy Women's Month.
Thank you so much.
And with that, we head back to the studio.
In your news making headlines at 8:30, Team VOC Breakfast broadcasting live from Pollsmoor Prison. In the news, Western Cape Community Police Board raises concerns on wave of violence and indictment on current state of security in communities. And lastly, Spaza shops to benefit from...
she can relate to. And we do know how much you love to gush about Noah. I see the statuses day in, day out. But today we will give the offenders an opportunity to speak about what it means for them to let go of their babies at 2 years old. Can you imagine what that would be like?
I was telling you yesterday, I can't imagine what it's like to actually have a child raised here, and then also having to bear in mind that at 2 years old you actually have to give your baby up because the facility only allows your baby to be with you for 2 years old. So I really don't understand how these females are able to sustain living in these conditions, knowing that at 2 months old their little babies are going to be taken away from them.
Absolutely, and we do see that our offenders are making their way to us, but at this point we will hand over to Buddha Yusuf Fisher, who is our veteran presenter of the Prisoners Hours program, who will get to interact with the offenders, the moms that do have their babies with them in prison.
All right, I saw your lips moving, and I must say it looks nice, but it doesn't sound like nothing. Just repeat yourself there, please.
No, I'm saying at this point we are going to hand over to you, Buddha Yusuf, to interact with the offenders, the moms that do have their babies.
So these are the moms with the babies?
Yes, that's
correct. All right. Okay. Okay, the first name, let me see. Okay. So I can go to the ladies over there?
Yes.
All right. Okay, and to the other ladies, salam alaikum. Good morning. Goeiemorgen. Almal praat net Engels. As niks Afrikaans nie. Hoe is die moe van hierso? Maar okay, ons gaan nou Afrikaans praat. So, yeah. I'm here with three of the ladies, it's the three ladies, that's got their little ones with him here. They say it's only the one lady that's got the baby. The others don't have. Die kinders hier nie. So julle twee, julle moet julle lekker. So it's only the one that's a mom. Okay, but you said talk to the mothers. Okay, let's give her the microphone. Good day, your name? Okay, can I sit there? So I can look in her eyes when I talk to her. Okay, good morning. Your name?
My name is Fadwa Korelson.
Fadwa?
Yes.
Wa alaikum salam, ma for that. Fadwa, now you are here with your baby.
Yes.
How old is your baby?
My baby is 1 year, 10 months old.
1 year, 10 months old. And when we talk about having your baby with you, until when will your baby be with you?
My baby will be with me until I go home because my date to go home is the 7th of October and his
Okay.
birthday is on the 12th of October.
All right, alhamdulillah. So your baby will be with you all the time. And when we look at the baby, how do you find having your child with you under these circumstances?
Well, for me, in the beginning it was very challenging, but it also brought me a sense of growth. And I can today say that I am a mother.
Right.
Because being with the little one 24/7, it's a lot of courage.
Right. And being with other females who also have their little ones, how does it feel to actually interact with all of them raising your child?
Wow, it's amazing. It has a lot of emotions because we all have different characters, we come from different backgrounds.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, we are all there for one another and we are all there for one another's children.
Right. So what you're saying then is that you actually look out for each other.
Yes,
and each
it
other's
takes a
child.
village to raise a child, and that is what we stand for.
Well, there you go. And you are all together in this, as you're saying, different reasons, of course, but the main reason in this instance is raising the child.
Yes.
And you've got your sisters, as we can call them, of course,
Yes.
there to assist you.
Absolutely.
So if you need to share a word with family that might be concerned, look, there's Fatwas is there, the child is there, but you are looking all happy, what would you like to tell them?
I would like to tell my family that this time around being incarcerated, it brought growth to me as a woman and as a mother. And when I leave this place, I
Right.
can stand firm and I can stand for my children.
Oh, there you go. Your one is here. You say children. How many children
I
do you
have
have?
4 boys outside and
You have
the one
4
boy.
boys and the boy also.
Yes.
Oh, you're a lucky woman, eh? 5 boys. I'm telling you. So you intend to building the team still?
No. That's the last one.
Okay, that's not a family planning question. Eh? Ek vra hom maar net. All right, Fatma, shukran. All the very best, all the success. And inshallah, very soon you'll be going home. Have a wonderful life further, inshallah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, assalamu alaikum. And then I have the other lady, doesn't have a child here, but I can speak to her. Good day.
Good day.
Your name?
I'm Verona Kennedy.
And Miss, is it Miss or Mrs.?
It's Miss.
Miss Kennedy.
Yes.
Now tell me, Miss Kennedy, you are here, and of course, I can see all smiles, looking all puffy. If I can tell the listeners, of course, those that will be watching, they'll be seeing the hairdo and all of those. So yes, things are happening. Yeah. Hey? How are you?
I'm doing good.
Yes.
Much better than before.
Much better than before, meaning things are happening for you?
Yes, sir.
Now, I want to ask you this. Of course, being here, you're also part of certain programs.
Yes.
How do you feel about these programs? What does it mean to you?
It's, if I can use the word, changed my life.
Yeah?
It gave me a different insight of what I can do.
Right.
I wouldn't have been able to do this if I was outside.
Right.
I wouldn't have thought about doing it if I was outside. But being incarcerated has shown me a different side to myself.
Right.
I've gotten to know myself better, doing these programs, being part of programs, certain programs like Fundam Zanzi,
Right.
like doing the nail course, doing the beauty courses and stuff like that. It's things that I can always use when I go
Of
outside
course,
to
of
better
course.
myself and to just change the lifestyle that I've lived before.
And also earn a living, of course.
Obvious.
Obvious, yeah. And you're talking about beauties, so you're actually practicing on yourself.
They say change starts with yourself.
Sis, een ding. Sy weet waarvan sy praat, hè? Een ding. Soos hulle sê, so 'n bek. So, nee, jy moet vir jou lekker hou, moet net so maar alles praat hier nie. Maar nou, as jy nou, daar's jong mense, jong meisies wat luister na jou, wat sal jy vir hulle wil sê?
Dat moenie moed verloor nie. Niemand is perfek nie. Almal maak foute. Ek myself, ek leer, ken myself nog soos ek groter raak, soos ek ouer raak. Sy is nooit te oud om te leer nie. Maar moenie bly lê as jy geval het nie. Staan op want daar is kanse in die lewe.
Ah, sê. Wonderful. Wonderful. Een ding. Nou moet ek sê, sy het net verniet, hy, you know what, ja, okay, die looks, ek sien dat sy wil net model, wat uit jou mond uitkom, is mooi woorde.
Dank je.
En oor die weekend het ek gepraat met 'n dentist, die wat sy daar het, hulle noem die 'n passion gap.
Oh yes,
Is it
definitely.
a passion gap? Is dit reg, né?
Ja.
So, wat uit jou woord, uit jou mond uitkom, very passionate.
Very passionate.
Baie dankie vir jou, alles van die beste.
Dankie.
En mag die pad vorentoe sommer wees baie mooi vir jou.
Ik kan vaarhuisdiening, dank je.
Dankie. Net so gou die laaste, het jy enige kinders?
Ja, ik heb 2 kinders.
Hoeveel? Sorry, boys or girls?
A boy and a girl. I was blessed with both.
Wonderful. So ja, maak klaar met wat jy besig is, dat jy kan huis toe gaan na jou kinders toe.
Dank je.
Dan sê, dit was, en dan ons 'n laaste enetjie wat ek hier het saam met my. Ek weet nie, ek sien ons die pilot daar saam met, wat sy naam, hou jou vingers vir jouself, my vingers hier. Gaan. Good morning.
Good morning.
Your name?
Nomthetho Makadlela.
Okay, nou moet ek eers nare sit. Sê gou vir my, what's your name?
Nomthetho Makadlela.
There we go, non-kaito lakandeni. And tell me, are you here? Do you have kids? Do you have children?
Yes, I do.
But they're not here with you?
No, they are not here.
All right. So you find yourself under these circumstances. And there are, as I said to your friend earlier also, people listening to you right now. What would you like to tell those listening to you right now about what the person should look out for in life, do you think?
What I can say is, as I'm here for shoplifting, because I committed a crime.
Right.
As a mother, as a grandmother, thinking, knowing that I'm doing that to earn a living as a breadwinner, but that doesn't take you anywhere.
Right.
It brings you to prison.
Yeah.
So you must change the way of doing things, earn a living in a healthy, right way.
Right.
Because crime does not pay.
Right.
Understand your circumstances and take one step at a time. Do things in a right way.
So listening to you right now, you're saying that even though you find yourself under these circumstances, there are other ways of dealing with it.
Yes, there are other ways.
Right. So now, seeing that this has happened to you, going forward, what would you like to tell young people, especially of the young people sitting here today with us, what would you like, the message that you would like to leave them with?
I will say to them, crime does not pay because you are destroying your life. Each and every individually, you've got your dreams, things that you want to achieve.
Right.
So be a go-getter and do what you want to do in a right way.
Right.
Because you will end up here in prison.
Right.
Even though that prison does help a lot.
Right.
Because it gives you to change your mindset. The way you are thinking, the way you are doing things.
Right. And that has happened to you? Change your mindset?
It did a lot.
Right.
It
Right.
did a lot.
Well, thank you so much for you. And let me just say something. You said your mother and a grandmother. I don't know where the grandmother part comes because you look very young.
Yes, I am.
Very young, so maybe they made a mistake with the grandmother part. But thank you so much. All the very best. And also, may the future be bright for you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, there you go. Those were three of the people that I interviewed here at Pollsmoor. En nou wil sy weer praat. Ek wil nou net sê, sy moet nou vir jou lekker hou.
Nee, is klaar.
All right. Okay, baie shukran, baie dankie daarso. En vir julle hier, die kan van julle wie se briewe ek gekry het. Laas keer, julle moet klaarmaak. Ons kan weer briewe lees Woensdag aan. Is dit reg so? Het werk net so. Alright, okay, ek dink hulle wil aangaan met die program, so ek los vir julle. Ons praat later. All right, are they, have they gone live? Yes, they've gone live.
Kenilworth has been voted as the #1 Suzuki dealer in the country for 2023.
joined by Lubela Scott this morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Lubela, give us some insight with regards to your journey.
My journey in prison, or
While you were with your mom, yes.
while I was my mother, I certainly don't remember much because I was pretty young when I was here. But I do remember one particular event where I was incarcerated with my mother, and obviously, like, the gates were locked and everything. And I remember shouting to the Sersant at the time, "Sersant, Sersant, makop die hek. Ek is in gevangenis nie." So meaning that, Sersant, Sersant, please open the gate. I'm not a prisoner. The person that's an actual prisoner is actually my mother. And some memories that I do have, I remember having those small scooter bikes type of thing that kids have where you like push with your feet. Had that here in prison, and I used to like go to each and every cell basically with the people that I knew at the time. Just going around to these cells and just visiting, yeah.
And then once you were, I was going to say once you were released, once you were, released to your family, I think you were 5 years old at the time. Explain to me what happened after, like where did you find yourself?
At the time, it was a very tricky time, if I remember correctly. Being incarcerated with your mom and having to be kind of inextricably taken away from them is one of the most difficult things, because I went from prison to Ekukuletu. Now, if you all know, Kukuletu is one of the roughest places in Cape Town, and I was exposed to a lot of things, even with an aunt that was did not really take good care of me. At some point, I wasn't taken care of in the sense that, you know, showers, food and stuff, you know, and, you know, she would take care of her kids more than she would actually take care of me. So that was one of the challenges that I did have. And I remember my mother actually told me this, and I do have a faint memory of it, that I would actually follow anyone that I saw would kind of be nice to me. I'd follow them around to wherever they were going, and as we all know, that would be dangerous for a baby, you know, coming out of a place that was so, that was locked up at most of the times and heavily protected. I mean, I have a sense now as I got older that anything could have happened to me. And I remember a lady that actually took me for a couple of days and, you know, spent time with her, you know, and my family did not particularly know where I was. I don't know if my mother knows that, but yeah, that's particularly what happened. So the challenges that I did experience is not knowing where I was, and by virtue of that, I was actually brought back to prison to come and be taught about how to conduct myself when I do eventually leave.
And then I know, I read up on your mom quite a bit. I know that when she was released, she took you to some university, and she wasn't actually allowed to have you there. And I know that you repaid them by actually embarking on sports with them, and you did quite well. But I really just want to focus on you and the life you made for yourself post being incarcerated with your mom.
So yeah, the life that I did make for myself, basically, I did well in rugby. I still am a rugby player. But I used to play for the Western Province. I played with the likes of Damien Willems. You guys should know him, playing for the Springboks now. Played with the likes of Siya Kolisi at some point. I had training sessions with the Stormers for quite a bit, for quite some time. But eventually I realized that rugby is not going to actually be the only thing that I should do. And I decided to actually stop for a little bit and, you know, pursued my career, my LLB career. Or my legal career, and, you know, went to the University of the Western Cape and actually paid homage to UWC by applying back to the community. I could have gone, I was actually pre-accepted to UCT, and I then decided, no, I'm actually going to go back to where I was actually raised, because I actually grew up in the corridors. I remember growing up, there's a res that I often go to even nowadays, you know, just for memories. There's actually two of them. Chris Hani, which the people there would call Janko, and then there's Hector Peterson residence. I actually stayed there for about 2 years when I was completing my LLB career. So yes, I played rugby for UWC and won one of the prestigious competitions with them, the Varsity Shield competition. So yes, so that was my way of applying back to the UWC community, and I'm still pursuing my master's at UWC.
It's safe to say that you actually did really well for yourself, but I find it ironic that you keep on coming back here. Why is it so important to pull back to Pollsmoor and to encourage these people that find themselves here that there is light at the end of the tunnel and that you can make something of yourself irrespective of where you come from?
As you've just put it now, me, I do want to come back here all the time because I want to give the ladies here hope, because most of them come from places that have no hope. So if I can take one person's heart today or whenever I do come here, that would bring such warmth to my heart to know that when they leave here, they're going to give their kids a better opportunity and not find themselves coming back to prison. And I do want to say this to the ladies here today. You guys are the most important people here today. You guys are the most important people for your kids. And you guys are the ones that are actually going to make a difference. I know, as the lady minister had said earlier on, that yes, when you do leave here, there are going to be challenges, you know? There always are going to be challenges. My mother had challenges, but she was able to go back to varsity at the age of 46, if I do remember correctly. And she completed her LLB degree and completed a master's. Now, if I heard correctly earlier on, the ladies have, you know, academic programs, and they're able to study at UNISA. UNISA qualifies as a university today. So those are possibly or probably opportunities that my mother and them never had in those days, but the ladies now have bigger and better opportunities to take care of themselves.
Thank you so much for that wonderful little bit of communication we had with regards to your life and how you turned out. I wanted to change focus to your sister, who was 12 years old when your mom was incarcerated. She literally had to fend for herself. Her name is Ntshalintshali Scott. Hi, good morning.
Good morning, everyone that is here present, the ladies, and happy Women's Month. Firstly, before we continue our interview, I'd like to observe protocol and recognize the minister in her absence, and also to acknowledge and appreciate the head of prison, Utata Mfengwa, for this event. It's an amazing opportunity, not only for myself, but all that are here today. It is a very brief yet elaborate picture of the caliber of man that you are, and I hope by exhibiting your occupational charisma that the integrity that you show us here today does not only echo through the passages where the members of DCS stand guard, but it penetrates through the jail cell where the ladies are held, because that is where integrity is needed the most. I'd also like to thank the station, Voice of the Cape, for, like someone said this morning, it takes a village to raise a child, but it takes a community station to raise concerns so that those issues can then be laid to bed. And so with those words, I say wassalamu alaikum and shukran for having me.
It's only a pleasure. So you were 12 years old when your mom was taken away, not just your mom, your brother as well. How was it like adjusting to the new life without having a mom present?
Okay, first of all, my mom had 3 children. I'm the firstborn of the 3. Lubelo was the youngest. He was raised in prison with my mom, and my brother, whom I am 2 years senior, he's senior. Unfortunately, 22 days before my mom was released from prison, was unceremoniously shot 6 times in the head, and he died on the dusty streets or the dusty pavement of Gugulethu Township. Just to give you a background of the family. And when my mom was incarcerated at the age of 12 years old, I was in a very fragile position. My mom had already devised a plan as to who was going to keep us and sort of foster us for the term which she would then serve in prison. Unfortunately, they say if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. But as life would have it, no matter how many plans you may make for yourself, when you're not present as a mother, there's no guarantee that you can ensure to see that plan comes to fruition. And so it was very challenging. I lived with 4 different families, encountering different types of abuse in each and every home, where you would have sometimes older and younger kids than myself, where you would be exposed to preferential treatments and so forth. And so, yeah, it was certainly a difficult time, but inshallah, I'm here today.
Was there any stigma attached to being a child of an inmate?
I think, once again, because my mom is a strong character, she had devised means for myself to be placed in schools that would take care of me. So where the household failed, the school institution then was able to assist me. And so all the difficulties that came across in terms of the emotional side of it, I think was taken care of mostly by psychologists, by those teachers that would notice one day that your lunchbox doesn't look right, something must be going on at home. I had such an amazing support system. I had a uniform at school at some point because, I would commute from Gugule to Lansdowne. I went to Sunlands Primary School, and I went to Para High School. And so there was just things that were put in place for me for other kids to see what was really going on in my life. And that for that support system at school, I'm really grateful, because it helped grow my confidence. It helped, whilst my mom was absent, it also made me see that nothing is impossible. And I saw that there were still good Samaritans. Although you're going through what you're going through, there's always somebody out there who is willing and able to help.
And then when your mom was released back into society, I'm assuming that you guys reunited. How was that process like for you?
It was really mixed emotions. I won't speak on my brother's behalf, but it was really mixed emotions. I was 19 years of age. I was doing my first year. But remember, in the same year, in 2015, we had been anticipating, waiting for had a great expectation of a family reunion, which would be seamless and smooth and pleasant. But remember, 22 days before my mom had been released, my brother was shot 6 times in the head and he died. And so, although you go into prison and you leave things, the expectation, or unwritten, unspoken expectation in the convict's mind is that when I come out, everything will still be the same. And unfortunately, there are things that you will never, ever be able to replace. My mom lost her house. The bank sold it to itself for 10 rand. And then, she lost furniture. But everything that was material that she lost, she has to date replaced, except the life of my brother.
Absolutely inspiring words, I must say. Thank you to Ntomeko as well as Lubelo Scott for joining us this morning and sharing those stories and reminding us that we can make something of ourselves, that it's not all doom and gloom once we have sort of spent time within these walls, and to his mom as well. Okay, yes, we'll allow Ntomeko and her mom to say a last message to the offenders here today.
Okay, before I give my mom and my brother the opportunity to say closing remarks, I just wanted to say to the ladies, because that's why we're here. I'm not here to just, tell you some meandering story about myself. That does not serve the purpose. But I want you to be mindful of the time that you spent here, right? There's a Latin saying, tempus reviat, which means time matters, right? The time that you spend here, tell yourself from today going forward that the Department of Correctional Services is like Midas. You know Midas? You know Midas? It's a place where you go and buy a toolbox, right? And to make sure that each and every tool that they give you, you use to the best of your ability. Because once you leave these four walls, it is rough out there. I don't remember her name, but there was a sister here who was saying the commitments and affirmations that she's been saying to herself, that by the time she leaves, she wants to do A, B, C, and D. Start planning. Start planning. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. It is not easy out there. And our story is 1 in a million. Not every story ends like this. And then you're going to be chock-slammed by something called the Z83 form. Guys, it's not a joke. It is not a joke. So if you're here and still wasting your time, just know that time matters. And at the end of the day, the very same child that you're speaking about today, that you're feeling that you've disappointed, as a mother, once you get to a point of sending your child out there at the age of 15, and when they leave, you tell them, "Ubuye ne plastic." The translation for that is, come back with plastics. You would have failed your child for the second time. Because now it's either you are promoting them into prostitution or into crime. So as you plan your state of ex-convictness, plan for your children as well, so that you're not in that position to say to your 15-year-old daughter, "Ubuye ne plastic." Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I've just turned, I turned 64 this year. I'm getting older by the day. I want to greet everybody else. I want to give you a little bit of my story. I was the first African lady public prosecutor in the Western Cape. The first African lady public prosecutor in the Western Cape. I started working as a prosecutor in 1983. Majority of you were not born at the time when I made history for all the right reasons, sending people to prison for approximately 10 years of my life. But little did I know that sometime in my life, I would follow those that I sent to prison and share a cell with them. Not by visiting them, but by remaining with them in incarceration, serving a time with them. I remember when I was brought to prison, I was brought by a lady warden, who was Umkomone, Mrs. Abrams. Yeah, she brought me in. I walked here with my little one. Ne? I carried him piggyback into my cell because I wanted to raise him myself. I wanted to inculcate or instill the values that were instilled in my other children, in him. That is why I kept him close and nobody could understand. So instead of spending only 2 years in prison, he spent 4.5 years of his life in prison because I did not want to part with them. I would fight tooth and nail. There was a head of prison here. Her name was Lula Manotad. I would fight tooth and nail because I did not want to release him, because I knew exactly how the world operates outside, that the world is cruel. Listen, ladies, you are loved. That is why you are here today. You are loved. If I can tell you my story, how I got arrested. I was arrested right inside courtroom, not anywhere else. I'm in court. I'm a prosecutor. I'm wearing my black professional gown with my dignity intact. And now it was a time for me to make postponements, to do postponements. And I'm looking at the magistrate, Mr. McEwan, and I read the charge sheet. You can imagine. Now I'm wearing my professional gown. You know how prosecutors are, ne? Ne? Very confident, ne? I read the charge sheet. It lag pare. Die stadversoek dat die sak uitgestel word, het lag pare. Tot die dag en die dag, dankie, het lag pare, soos u op behaag. And I sat down. Because those years, ne, you had to address the magistrate in Afrikaans. So I spoke Afrikaans. I'm reminding a case to such and such a date. Last but not least, before the mic is taken, do you know what happened? When I looked to my left, I'm busy postponing and I just sat down. I saw 2 white police coming. You know, I saw my gave them a pale cake. You know, because you are confident and there's a mistake that people are making. Courtroom does not belong to the magistrate. It belongs to the prosecutor. The prosecutor is what you call in law a dominus litis, in control of the court. Everything the magistrate will ask the prosecutor about it. So it does not belong to the magistrate, it belongs to the prosecutor. So now, I forgot what I was going to say. So they came. Okay, I was saying 2 white police came, ne? Ne? I was not given an opportunity to take off the gown. I was not. I was handcuffed. Ne? Removed from the courtroom in handcuffs. You can imagine, the prosecutor is being arrested. I looked at the magistrate. I looked at the magistrate. I looked at the people inside, the audience. People were embarrassed, and I came to Pollsmoor prison, and I started serving my time. Those sergeants who are there, who know me, I was the problem inmate. Ne? Because I knew that I'm not supposed to be here. I don't belong here. Ladies, please, when you go out, don't come back. Ne? Think about your children. Thank you. Bye.
The riveting stories from the Scott family that we have ended today's show with. And that brings us to the close of today's VOC Breakfast Show, broadcasting from within the walls at Pollsmoor Maximum Security Female Section. We've had the rare opportunity to hear the stories, hopes and dreams of those who are often unheard. I'd like to thank everyone that has joined us on this broadcast, everyone that has taken the time to come out to the prison today, as well as our guests. And with Yusuf Fisher, I can see he's giving me a side eye before I get a speech off air again. But shukran so much to all of you. And I just want to say a happy birthday to the social worker at Pollsmoor, Mrs. Abida Jacobs. So to you we say salamat. May Allah grant you the best of health, inshallah. And with that, we head out for an ad break and we will go straight into the juice of the day, inshallah.